The morning sun lit up the rooftops of one of New York's grand mansions, gently greeting Eleanor Bennett on her 75th birthday. Her hands, marked by years of life and love, reached for a photo frame by her bedside. It held a picture of her son as a young boy, a moment frozen in time. That little boy, Andrew, had grown into one of the nation's most prominent businessmen. But to Eleanor, he was still the light of her life. Andrew Bennett had made a name for himself in the real estate industry, building an empire that spanned across the country. His success came at a cost, though. The distance between him and his mother grew wider with every passing year. Andrew's wife, Victoria, was poised and elegant, yet she always carried an air of control that left Eleanor feeling out of place. She could sense that Victoria had no love lost for her and subtly kept Andrew from reconnecting with his roots. Eleanor, despite her age, moved with grace. She carefully selected a pastel blue dress, styled her hair, and clasped her favorite pearl necklace around her neck. It was her birthday, and surely her son had planned something special. She descended the grand staircase, her heels clicking softly against the marble floor, only to find an unsettling stillness. There were no flowers, no signs of a celebration, nothing to mark the day as significant. She brushed it off. Maybe they were planning a surprise. Eleanor wandered into the kitchen, hoping to see the staff busy preparing something. Instead, she found only silence. Confused, she decided to check Andrew's office. As she approached, the sound of voices caught her attention. The door was ajar, and she heard Victoria's sharp tone. "Do we really have to put everything on hold just for your mother's 75th birthday?" Victoria asked, her voice laced with irritation. "We can't risk millions of dollars over some cake and candles." Andrew sighed, his voice heavy with exhaustion. "Mom's going to have to understand. Today's meeting is critical." Victoria let out a sarcastic laugh. "Andrew, your mother always expects to be the center of attention. It's exhausting. I mean, I'm your wife. Your priority should be me and this family, not her." Andrew hesitated for a moment. "Can we not do this right now? I already have enough on my plate." Victoria folded her arms, leaning back against the desk. "You're too soft on her. Every time she clings to you, it pulls us further apart. She needs to get the message. This is our life, not hers." Eleanor's chest tightened as she listened, frozen in place. She quietly knocked on the door, composing herself. Andrew and Victoria turned toward her, startled. "So, do you have anything planned for today?" she asked, her voice calm but her eyes searching. Andrew avoided her gaze. "Today's a busy day at work, Mom. Maybe we can do something tonight." Victoria offered a polite but insincere smile. "Yes, we can have a little celebration this evening." Eleanor studied their faces and realized the truth. This day was just another day for them. She nodded silently and left the room, her heart heavy. Back in her bedroom, she sat at the edge of the bed, staring at her reflection in the mirror. Something had to change. Later that morning, Eleanor packed a small suitcase. She unclasped her pearl necklace, setting it carefully on the dresser. She took one last look around her room, a room filled with memories but no longer a home, and left the mansion. She hailed a cab and gave the driver an address she hadn't visited in years, her best friend Zara's house. When Zara opened the door, her expression shifted from surprise to concern. "Eleanor, what are you doing here? And with a suitcase?" Eleanor stepped inside, setting her bag down before the tears began to fall. Between shaky breaths, she recounted everything. Zara listened intently, then wrapped her arms around her. "You're staying here," Zara said firmly. "This is your home now." Eleanor smiled through her tears. Zara disappeared into the kitchen and returned with a small cake and 2 cups of tea. She lit a single candle on the cake and placed it in front of Eleanor. "It's not much," Zara said with a warm smile, "but you deserve to celebrate today." Eleanor closed her eyes for a moment, made a wish, and blew out the candle. "I wish to take my life back." Meanwhile, Andrew sat in a sleek conference room, but he couldn't focus. His mother's face from that morning lingered in his mind. Her quiet sadness, her retreating figure. It all weighed on him. He pulled out his phone and called her, but the line went straight to voicemail. Panic set in. Andrew called the staff at the mansion, but no one knew where Eleanor had gone. Finally, he remembered Zara. He drove to her house, his heart racing. When Zara opened the door, Andrew didn't have to say a word. She stepped aside, revealing Eleanor sitting on the couch, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea. "Mom," Andrew began, his voice trembling. "I know I've hurt you, but please hear me out. I got so wrapped up in work and Victoria's expectations that I forgot what really matters you." Eleanor looked at him, her expression a mix of sadness and resolve. "Andrew, love is shown through actions, not just words. I don't want to feel like a shadow from your past. All I've ever wanted is respect and love." Andrew nodded, unable to hold back his tears. "You'll have it, Mom. I promise. I want to make things right." The next day, Andrew arranged an elaborate birthday celebration at the mansion. Every detail was carefully planned, from the flowers to the music. Eleanor, hesitant at first, decided to attend. She walked into the beautifully decorated hall, greeted by smiles and warmth. It wasn't just a party, it was an apology, a declaration of love, and a new beginning. Andrew made a public toast, his voice steady, but filled with emotion. "To my mom, Eleanor, my strength, my heart, and the woman who taught me everything. Today is about celebrating you and making sure you know just how much you mean to me." Victoria watched from the sidelines, her usual composure faltering. She could see the changes in Andrew, the shift in his priorities. For the first time, she realized her grip on him was loosening. That night, as the guests left and the house quieted, Andrew sat with Eleanor in the living room. "I'm sorry it took me so long to realize what I was losing," he said softly. Eleanor smiled, resting her hand on his. "What matters is that you found your way back. This is a start." And so, they began rebuilding their bond, one step at a time. Eleanor reclaimed her sense of worth, and Andrew discovered the joy of putting family first. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And it was enough.